Part of the season, Kevin Stefanski looks like he's putting it all together. Bleacher Report took a look at his season so far, and here's what they had to say. He abandoned the run far too early against the Baltimore Ravens, took too many risks, including a failed fake punt attempt, and steered his team to a 38-6 beatdown. However, Stefanski has steered a steady ship since. The offense has leaned heavily on the running game, allowing Mayfield, Odell Beckham, and the rest of the passing offense to be a complementary piece, albeit extremely talented ones. Perhaps most importantly, Stefanski's Browns have learned how to close out games rather than fumble them away, as Cleveland did too often last year. You guys were talking about Stefanski a little bit earlier in the show. Looking at his coaching tenure so far with the Browns, what has impressed you guys the most so far?
Mary Kay, go ahead. Go ahead.
One of the things that has impressed me the most is that he is adjusting and he is doing things. He knows how to correct a situation very quickly, not just within a football game, but over the course of a few games. And let me give you an example of that. Odell Beckham Jr. needed to be involved. You cannot have a star like that on your football team and not give him plenty to do. Because if Jarvis isn't happy and Odell's not happy and Austin Hooper isn't happy, your three Pro Bowlers, that's going to permeate throughout the entire offense. So he found ways to get him involved. Those guys were, going to him and asking to let them run that play. He did it. So I think he knows the importance of doing things like that. I also think that as the weeks have gone along, I think he's doing a better job of calling a game that is better suited to Baker Mayfield. There are certain things that Baker isn't going to be able to do well in this offense, but you don't know until you try them with him. He had never seen him in a game live until he played him in Baltimore. I mean, think about that. So he's had to do certain things with him to change it up a little bit. And Baker, under center isn't necessarily the best way for him to go at times. They need to get him in the shotgun a little bit more and roll him out a little bit, let him be able to see what's going on. And, give him some throwing lanes. And they've been able to do that. So I think those are some of the things.
Let me throw something in here that doesn't necessarily answer the same question that you were asked. But what I do notice different about the team is, I can't, maybe you can help me on this. I don't recall any big plays that were made that were called back for some kind of a penalty. Can you think of any? I can't.
No, they're doing a better job with that. They're a much more disciplined football team. There are certain things that this coaching staff, and again, it's a good veteran coaching staff. They're doing a really, really nice job. But they're not going to stand for things like that. They're not going to stand for things like interceptions. So you will see Baker throwing a lot fewer interceptions this year, I believe. If he starts throwing them, he's not going to be in the game. Yeah. Right, so there's just a lot of discipline on this football team now.
Right. So I said that it was different that we've seen in previous years. What else has Stefanski done that we hadn't seen with past coaches here? Because most of them are afraid to try anything, and he's obviously not afraid. Now, if one or two of these plays didn't work, that's probably the last time we'd see them off the shelf. But right now, he's got the confidence that he can call anything and anything's going to work.
Well, he's playing to his strengths, and he knows what that is right now. And it's not that they're trying to cover up that Baker isn't 100% where they expect him to be in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, but they're playing to their running strengths right now for the most part. And if they're not running it, then they're running reverses and trying trick plays, and they're being aggressive. And I think that is, those are some of the best things that he's doing. He's being very super aggressive. And this is a football team. Let's talk about the other side of the ball. They're taking it away like crazy, and that's making a huge, huge difference in them winning football games, okay? They've taken it away 10 times. Now, the defense has its deficiencies right now, not because they didn't compile a good defense. It's because they have been so injured. I mean, they have not been intact all season long. But what they're doing, they're covering up for some of their sins by taking the ball away time and time again and giving that offense a short field on which to work. And they've taken advantage of it. They've scored a league-high 45 points off of those 10 turnovers. That's a heck of a lot of points, and that has made a huge difference. They've taken it away 8 times in the last 2 games alone.
You know what